In the history of the Brazilian Seleção, the protagonists usually fall into two categories: the beloved artists like Ronaldinho and Kaká, or the clinical titans like Pelé and Ronaldo. But as we enter 2026, Brazil's undisputed leading man, Vinícius Jr, occupies a space unlike any who came before him. He is, simultaneously, the most exciting dribbler on the planet and the most scrutinized athlete in the sport. He is a champion for human rights and a target for unprecedented vitriol. He is a player who can decide a Champions League final with a flick of his boot, and a player who can be neutralized by a tactical low block and a bit of psychological dark arts. As the 2026 World Cup in North America approaches, Vinícius Jr isn't just playing for a sixth star for Brazil. He is playing for his place in history. And no matter the outcome, he is guaranteed to divide the footballing world forever. The Ballon d'Or shadow, the wound that never healed. To understand the tensions surrounding Vinícius in 2026, you have to go back to late 2024. The world expected him to be crowned the best player on earth. Instead, the Ballon d'Or went to Rodri. That night in Paris didn't just spark a boycott from Real Madrid, it created a permanent rift in the footballing community. For his supporters, it was a theft driven by politics, a snub of the individual magic that Vinicius represents in favor of the mechanical consistency of the European system. For his detractors, it was a moment of justice, a validation that his provocative style and emotional volatility made him less worthy than the quiet professional. Heading into 2026, Vinicius carries that chip on his shoulder. Every goal he scores for Brazil is framed as a rebuttal to France football and FIFA. Every struggle is mocked by those who believe the 2024 vote was correct. He is a player who cannot be judged in a vacuum. Every touch is seen through the lens of that controversy. The tactical paradox, the left-wing dilemma. One of the most dividing aspects of Vinícius Jr is tactical. At Real Madrid, he has spent years as the king of the left. But the arrival of Kylian Mbappé in 2024 and the tactical shifts under Xabi Alonso in 2025 have forced a sharing of the spotlight that hasn't always been seamless. For Brazil, the problem is even more acute. Under Dorival Jr, the Seleção has struggled to find a way to make Vinicius as effective as he is in a white shirt. Critics point to his record in the 2024 Copa America and early World Cup qualifiers as proof that he is a system player, someone who needs the support of Real Madrid's midfield to shine. Fans are divided on the why. One camp argues that Brazil fails to provide him the structure he needs. The other argues that a true legend, a Neymar or a Ronaldinho, makes the system work for them. In 2026, the world will finally get a definitive answer. If Vinicius dominates the tournament from the left wing, he silences the system player narrative forever. If he struggles, the debate over his limitations will become the loudest conversation in football. The activist versus the athlete, a higher calling, Vinícius Jr, is no longer just a footballer. He is the global face of the fight against racism in sport. His courage in standing up to abuse in La Liga has turned him into a cultural icon beyond the pitch. He has been appointed to lead FIFA anti-racism committees and has influenced laws in Brazil. However, this activism has, fairly or unfairly, become a point of division among fans. There is a section of the footballing world that believes he should just focus on football, viewing his activism as a distraction or a source of friction on the pitch. Conversely, a massive global audience sees him as a hero who is bigger than the game itself. In the 2026 World Cup, every incident on the pitch, every foul, every yellow card, every interaction with the referee will be analyzed through this socio-political lens. He isn't just a winger, he is a symbol, and symbols are always polarizing. The provocateur debate, skill or disrespect. Then there is the Joga Bonito debate. Vinicius plays with a swagger that is quintessentially Brazilian. The rainbow flicks, the dancing after goals, the verbal sparring with defenders. To half the world, this is why we watch football. It's the joy, the flair, and the militia that makes the sport beautiful. To the other half, it's seen as unprofessional or provocative. We've seen him substituted in 2025 and 2026 and leave the pitch under a cloud of controversy, sometimes even clashing with his own coaching staff. This World Cup will be the ultimate trial of his personality. In the high-pressure environment of a World Cup knockout game, will his swagger be the weapon that breaks the opposition, or will his temperament be the weakness they exploit? There is no middle ground with Vini Jr. You either love the dance, or you want to see him tackled. The shadow of Neymar, the unfair comparison. For the last decade, Brazil was Neymar's team. Even as Neymar enters the final injury-prone stages of his career in early 2026, his shadow looms large. Neymar, for all his controversies, was a creative 10 who could dictate a game from the center. Vinicius is a vertical 7 who thrives on space and speed. Fans are divided on whether Vinicius can actually lead a nation the way Neymar did. Neymar was the sun that everything revolved around. Vinicius is a lightning bolt, spectacular, but dependent on the storm. The 2026 World Cup will decide if Vinicius can evolve from a great individual into a national leader. If Brazil wins, he becomes the man who did what Neymar couldn't. If they fail, the "he's no Neymar" narrative will follow him for the rest of his career. The Saudi factor, a billion-dollar distraction. As we stand in 2026, the rumors of a €1 billion move to the Saudi Pro League have reached a fever pitch. Reports suggest Al Ahly and the Saudi state want him to be the super brand to replace Cristiano Ronaldo. This creates another layer of division. Fans are split on his loyalty. Is he the Madridista who will stay and fight for his place alongside Mbappe and Bellingham? Or is he a player who will take the gold and leave the European stage in his prime? This uncertainty creates a mercenary narrative that his critics love to use. During the World Cup, every mistake will be labeled as him having his head in Riyadh, while every success will be used as a reason why he's worth €1 billion. The physicality of 2026, speed versus stamina. The 2026 World Cup will be played across the vast distances of North America, often in high heat and humidity. This favors Vinicius' greatest asset, his explosive speed, but it also tests his greatest question mark, his durability and efficiency. He is a high-volume player. He attempts more dribbles than almost anyone, which means he loses the ball more than almost anyone. In a league season, that's fine. In a World Cup, one lost ball can mean an exit. Fans are divided on his high-risk style. Is he a genius who only needs to get it right once? Or is he a liability who frustrates his teammates by trying too much? The brand Vini, the American market's new obsession. The US market loves a superstar with a clear identity, and Vinícius Jr is perfect for the 2026 marketing machine. He has the smile, the celebrations, and the Nike versus Adidas battle, where he famously had a rift with Nike, that adds to his mystique. We are seeing brand Vini become a juggernaut in the US. He is the player the kids want to be, the one with the TikTok-ready dances and the highlight reel clips. But this commercialization of Vini irritates the football purists. They see the billboards and the fashion shoots and wonder if he's becoming a content creator first and a player second, the anti-hero of the Global South. There is a fascinating geographic divide in his fan base. In Europe, he is often the villain, the player who complains to referees and riles up away crowds. But in the Global South, in Brazil, across Africa, and in parts of Asia, he is the ultimate anti-hero. He is seen as the man who fought the European establishment and won. He is the kid from São Gonçalo who didn't change his personality to fit the European mold. This cultural divide will be at its peak in 2026. A foul on Vinicius won't just be a foul, it will be an international incident, debated across two different halves of the world with two completely different perspectives. The final verdict, history's witness. The 2026 World Cup will not provide a neutral conclusion on Vinícius Jr. There will be no consensus. If Brazil wins, his fans will say it was his destiny, that he overcame racism, a Ballon d'Or snub, and tactical doubt to become the king of the world. His critics will say he was carried by a stacked Brazil squad or that the referees favored him. If Brazil loses, his critics will say he was found out, that he lacks the mental strength for the biggest stage. His fans will say he was targeted and unsupported. That is the reality of Vinícius Jr. In 2026, he is the player who forced the world to take a side. He has removed the middle ground from football. You are either with him or against him. And as the whistle blows in North America, that divide will become the defining narrative of the largest World Cup in history.